This video, I'm going to show you how Earth is a spiritual master school, and I'm going to show you exactly how to pass so that you don't have to keep coming back over and over again, and so that you can really wake up to who you really are. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you a metaphor for understanding life in general, how life is a form of master school, a spiritual master school, and what you can do to pass to get to the quote-unquote next level. Now, the purpose of this video is to show you more, to help you more so remember who you are as a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. And the thing is in life, many of us, all of us will experience some form of pain, some form of suffering. And there are certain things that you'll notice that once you learn, you then no longer have to keep repeating that cycle. Like for example, if somebody doesn't have boundaries and people are always taking advantage of them, well maybe there's a certain point when you say, no more, I will not experience this anymore, I'm taking my power back. And then from that point forward, you're not giving your power away anymore. And when we learn these quote-unquote lessons, then we can move on to the next level. Just like when you go to school, you might have certain grades, and then going to the next grade, what happens? You have to pass that grade to get to the next one. Well, in a way, Earth is a similar type school, and what happens is the more we learn about ourselves, the more wisdom we develop, the more compassion we build, the more that we start to unravel ourselves from the karma, from the low vibrational energy that may keep us in certain states of consciousness. Now, if you study that of like Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, if you study a lot of the spiritual texts, it'll refer to karma. Karma is what you put out is what you get back. And what happens is most people are not aware of their karma. They're not aware of what they're putting out into the world. And because they're not aware of it, it continues to be like a cycle, playing itself out over and over and over again, and therefore they attract themselves to similar situations. They're around people that treat them in a certain way, and it all has to do with them not knowing that what they're putting out is what they're getting back. So when we talk about karma, this is a part of the school of life. Now let me show you, I made this little chart right over here. It's actually, there's a, what's it called? I don't remember the YouTube channel, but there's a YouTube channel that does like drawings and on like spiritual texts, and it's a really cool channel. You guys should check it out. Maybe I'll link it below if I can find it. But I remember seeing it a while ago. Let me show you. So this right here, this is a similar drawing that I saw in that YouTube video. Now this drawing right here, so this is a spirit. So let me just kind of show you how this works. We are infinite spiritual beings. That is us, as in that of, we're infinite. We're beyond even what we could even call like an angel with a halo. And when we look at ourselves as this infinite spiritual being, what we chose to do is, normally we feel unconditional love, we feel peace, we feel joy, we feel enlightenment. However, what we wanted to do is we wanted to see what it was like in a form. It's called like the spark of life, the spark of our individual human form. We were able to separate ourselves from spirit so that we could have an individual expression, an individual, I guess you could say an individual, where we break ourselves off into almost different bodies in a way. We're such vast spiritual beings, but we wanted to have individual experiences where we could learn more, about the game of separation, because up here, we're very much aware of our connection to all other things, to all other people. So because of that, it makes the game a little bit different. But what we decided to do is to go into what we could call, you call this a spirit, you call this a soul. We have different souls, you could think of it as infinite spiritual beings, and then we have a soul that may be as a perceptual separate person, or a separate entity, or a separate oversoul or higher self. But in general, we projected ourselves down here into the spark of life, into a human form. And what happens is then we went through what is called a veil of forgetfulness. We completely forgot who we are, because that makes the game, that makes the school that much more powerful. If we knew the whole entire time that we were infinite spiritual beings, the purpose of the game, like imagine the purpose of the game is to remember that you are an infinite spiritual being. Well, if you knew that going into it, then it'd almost be like you, it wouldn't make the game that special. It wouldn't make the game that much more real. It's kind of like having a video game and having all the cheat codes. Yes, it'll be fun for a while, but eventually you get bored of it because there's not that challenge, there's not that growth. However, this is one thing that we decide to do is we decide we're going to go through a veil of forgetfulness. We're going to completely forget who we are. Now, also, we're able to create what we want, and things happen in a much slower way because we have linear time-space reality. Up here, all time exists now, and if we think it, it happens. So it's like that Ariana Grande song. It's like, I want it, I got it. It's just like, I got it, 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 I got it. Here, it's I want it, and I gotta kind of manifest it, and I gotta put my attention in a certain direction, and then eventually, oh yeah, I'm sorry, there we go, and then eventually I got it. You see, there's a lot more learning that can happen here because there's more of a time-space buffer. Now what happens is we have this place called Earth, this beautiful place in the universe where I believe there's so much diversity here on Earth. I believe there's many different type of races that incarnate here. We all are multidimensional beings that exist at many different levels, and we've kind of forgotten that. However, there's so much diversity on Earth, it's amazing. We have elephants that have these trunks that walk around, and we have sharks, and we have all these different animals would appear alien, and I believe that at a higher level it's an expression of the diversity of the whole universe in general. It's all a reflection, as above, so below. So now what happens is we come to Earth, and depending on what we do on Earth, how aware we become, how much we learn compassion, how much we let go of old karma, which means becoming aware of what we're putting out to what we're getting back, the more that we learn, the more that our vibration then goes up, the more that then what happens is our soul progresses. Our soul progresses. However, if we act in form of separation, the way I would think of this is more as separation and the more as connection up here. Connection. So the more you realize that everything is connected and that you are focused on your own vibration and doing your own personal growth, the more that then you move up in vibration and you evolve yourself. The more you go from, let's say, 3rd grade to 5th grade, 4th grade, I know that, but I'm just saying and then 7th, 8th grade, and then eventually you graduate. Now, how do you graduate? Well, right now on the planet, what I believe is happening is there is a form of planetary waking up that is happening, where so many people on Earth are waking up, and we came here, we literally descended from spiritual beings into the spark to come to Earth so that we could help. Many of us are what are in the New Age community called light workers. What a light worker means is somebody that's coming from, and I mean, it gets kind of tricky with the whole ego, because then we say, yes, I'm this person, everyone else is less than. Everyone else is a reflection, by the way, first off. But what happens is we're high vibrational beings that have come here to wake and help other people wake up so that they can raise their vibration, so that this Earth can evolve to the next level. So that we can evolve to the next level, we can realize our own connection with each other, that we're all one consciousness, that we're all ultimately one being. Now, we also have this thing called the subconscious mind. Our subconscious minds are all connected. So it's that's why certain things get brought into your life. That's why other people in a way treat you in a certain way. It's because you're subconsciously projecting out to them. They feel that connection. And part of the game of life is that we're all connected, but we're going to play the game of separation. So that game of separation is us in separate bodies having this experience of, I am Aaron Doughty and you are, you, and we have this game of being separate. But what's happening is we're waking up more and more into realizing that we're all connected. And because we're all connected, that's where things begin to really shift, because we start to see that what I put out is what I get back, because what I do to you, I do to another aspect of myself. You see, this is where it gets deep. You are me, I am you, from the deepest level. Like imagine this right here. Let's imagine let me show you kind of how this works. So we have our individual body with an energy field around it. Then you have Carl over here with this is Carl. We put labels on ourselves so that we can separate ourselves and understand who is who and who is who. So Aaron, Carl, separate beings, right? Well, imagine this. Imagine we then expand the scope out a little bit, and then we put a big energy field around both of us. Well, look, we're both connected. You start to see it as more of a connection. But because we're perceiving reality through that of just the five senses, we assume, well, this is where my skin ends, therefore this is who I am, not knowing that all of our energy fields go far, 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 far outside of our body. And that if you were to zoom out, you would see that we are all literally immersed in our own energy fields and in the energy fields of other people. So when you go places and you're out in public at the supermarket, you're literally immersed in other people's energy fields. When you go to a concert, you're immersed in a lot of people's energy fields. When you go to a very crowded city, there's even more energy fields. Now the thing is in your energy field, you only experience what's activated, what's resonant, what you are focused. Like for example, if you're in a high vibe state and someone else comes around with the low vibe energy and is trying to affect you, well, that only affects you if you let it, if you agree to it, if you resonate with it. If you don't resonate, it doesn't affect you. Now the reason I'm sharing all of this is so that you know we're all connected. We come to earth to forget who we are so that we can then remember who we are. And part of the thing, and you want more information on this as well, you can check out Dolores Cannon's books. She has 17 books where she put people in what's called, I forget the name of the state, but it's a very deep level of hypnosis. And people's higher self would come through and she would ask questions about the soul. Why did this person incarnate this time? What is their mission in life? And it's called QHHT hypnosis, quantum healing hypnosis technique. It's been around for probably 20, 30 years. And her books are very powerful. And you'll hear, they will literally say, Earth is a master school. Earth is, and this is the thing too, it's a master school. It is very difficult to be on Earth, to come to this much level of forgetfulness. Many places in the universe that you go, when you're born, you remember who you are. You remember that you are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary human experience, and it's not that much of a shock. One thing that they've, I don't know if it was Abraham Hicks, I forget who it was, but they say it's a much bigger shock for you to be born on Earth, to the soul and to the spirit, than it is to die at the end of your life. Because when you die, you just kind of wake up to who you are at a greater level, but when you are born, you come in, there's kind of like this shock. There's this shock value here. Now, when I say that, also know that you're here for a reason. You are here for a reason. And the key is understanding the more you tap into your purpose, the more you tap into your mission, the more you are also elevating yourself in the school of life. So the school of life is a master school. It's very difficult to be here, to go through this much level of forgetfulness, this much level of density. And because things move slower here, there's so much more experience of growth. One thing that Dolores Cannon said as well is there was this somebody that was in that QHHT hypnosis. And they said they were in that hypnosis, and they said that they were looking, and there was almost like this management system going on outside of Earth's orbit or something like that. You know, this may just be a metaphor. I'm not sure, but I remember reading it years ago. And what this person said in this deep level of hypnosis is that there were souls that wanted to come into Earth. And it's like, some of them, it was like, okay, you can come onto Earth. Somebody was, I don't know if there was like some type of gatekeeper or someone, but someone's like, you can come onto Earth, but you're going to have this very short-lived life in probability-wise of in Africa or some third world country, and you might not live that long, and this is the probabilities. And there was souls that were like, I don't care, I just want to be on Earth for this time of transformation. I just want to be able to say I was there. Think about that. So even if somebody came here, they just want to be able to say they came to Earth at this time. Now, here's the thing. Whether it's a metaphor or that's actually quite literal, I'm not sure. It was in one of Dolores Cannon's books, though. However, the main point of it is that it is so exciting to be here right now, whether we're aware of it or not. And not only are you here, but you're aware of this type of information. Think about how amazing that is. There are billions of people on the planet who have no idea that they are spiritual beings having temporary human experiences. Imagine you're in a school that you don't know you're in a school. Well, that's most people. Most people aren't aware of that, therefore they're not studying any of the curriculum. But if you know that you're in school and you know that the more you do your own inner work, the more that you will progress to where then you can help other people, you're going to be in a higher vibrational state, you'll have more freedom in a way. Imagine the more you move up these levels, that the more you can then go and have more recess or more time to yourself or more higher vibrational activities or more extra core activities that are just fun. More, what was that called, like grace periods? Imagine that the more you raise your vibration, the more you're able to do that, because the more you're able to take control and manage your own energy. You see, Earth is a master school. Don't get it twisted and think, oh, Earth is like the kindergarten. In a way, yes, in a way, third dimension, like where we are right now, and the level of forgetfulness that we had, we can look up to other beings and be like, whoa, they're so evolved. And beings that are just unconditional loving and have higher technology, you know. But it does take a certain level of mastery to forget who we are at this level, to then remember who we are. So we're infinite spiritual beings. Don't get it twisted in thinking that you've only just been some human being once. You are much more vast than you can even imagine. It's not just some feel-good thing. Go within yourself and find out. Meditate. Go inside. Meditation is one of the ways that you learn more about yourself. You become more and more aware. But the key to this time is becoming aware of what you're putting out, because what you put out is what you get back. If you put out negative energy and you are hurting other people and you're focused on separation, then what happens is that energy begins to become heavier and heavier, and it brings you down into lower states of consciousness, to lower vibrational fields around Earth, almost like you start to tap into a lower vibrational energy. Now what's happening is many people on the planet are waking up. Now is the time of waking up, and we wake up by raising our own vibration, by realizing Earth is a form of school. So are you learning the lessons? The lessons could be for you to take your power back. The lessons could be for you to draw more boundaries with people. The lessons could be for you to learn how to forgive. Forgive is one of the most powerful lessons on Earth. Forgiveness. Learning how to forgive other people. Because remember, these other people aren't aware that they are connected to each other. They're not aware that these individual other sparks, when we have Carl and Aaron, some people aren't aware that these are actually we're all connected. So they're not aware of that. So in their unawareness, we can start to have compassion and realize they're doing the best they can with where they are. You see, this is where the game begins to change. So the school of life lessons, boundaries, forgiveness, going for your own passion, power, personal power, and learning to forgive yourself, to transcend lower vibrational emotions. This is where things really begin to change in a powerful way. And one of the things you can begin to do on this process as well is become aware of where your current vibration is. When you know where your vibration is, you can then know how to get to the higher levels, which is how you move up in this game called life. So something you can go to is whatsmyvibration.com. If you go to whatsmyvibration.com, what'll happen is there's a survey there where you can calibrate your own vibration, find out what your vibration is at, the archetype for where your vibration is at, and then I'll send you 2 meditations that will help you get to the higher level of consciousness. Plus, I'll send you emails as to how to raise your vibration to a whole new level. So that's something that you can, it's an absolutely free quiz. It takes about a minute or two to calibrate. You can go to whatsmyvibration.com. I'll go ahead and link it below. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it where I draw kind of like this, could you do me a favor and like this video? Let me know what you think, and maybe I'll do more like this. Other than that, go ahead and leave comments below for the kind of esoteric videos you want me to talk about as well in the future. I'm going to be making more videos, taking on your suggestions, and I'm excited to do so. Other than that, as always, I will see you on the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste.